welcome to our community. Susie Thomas with you this morning. We are delighted to welcome Jillian Pancher, and she is from Faith Family Church with the Flourish Conference coming up. Good morning.
Hi, Susie. Thanks so much for having me on today.
Well, it's great to see you again and great to have you here. And I think, Jillian, some people might not be familiar with Flourish in general. So tell us a little bit about what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. In 2015, Flourish was birthed at Faith Family Church, and we just saw a need in our church and the community for just gatherings for women where, women could just get away and really have a message designed for them for that evening, worship. And we always, of course, have fun, refreshments afterwards, a time for women just to gather. And, it started with a smaller group, and we've just seen it grow and grow as women had invited friends and family to come with them. And I think it really just spoke to the need for Flourish and the need for women to be able to gather and share their stories and really just encourage and inspire each other. So it's just totally been the Lord, and we've just been so excited to see how it's grown and how God has just used it and the testimonies that have come in, that it's really just all about Him, and we're just excited to be a part.
Mm-hmm. There's something that we want to make very clear to everyone, that this is not a Faith Family Women's Conference. This is a community women's conference being held at Faith Family Church.
Yes, that is correct. It has been our heart from the very beginning of Flourish that it wasn't just a gathering for women who attend Faith Family Church. We wanted Flourish to be for women in the community in any walk of life. For them just to feel welcome. You don't have to call Faith Family your home church, but we want you to come and enjoy our gatherings and really just grow and just grow in your relationship with Jesus and with each other. So we've seen that every gathering. We've just had so many women that don't come to Faith Family, but they feel welcome and want to come and invite their friends.
What are we looking at here? How many people tend to attend Flourish?
Well, we typically have been hitting around 1,000 women, which has been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and again, we just feel like it's just been the Lord's hand on it.
And it takes place when?
We have 2 gatherings throughout the year, one in February and one in June, and those are absolutely free. The refreshments, everything at those gatherings are free. And then we have our annual conference in September. Last year, some people might be familiar, we held the Propel Christine Caines event at our church in place of doing our conference, and it was amazing. And then this year will be our first Flourish conference in September.
So June and February is when you kind of get, they're like mini conferences.
Yes, they're like mini
excited
conferences.
for September.
Yes.
September's the real McCoy.
Yes.
And what are the costs involved with that?
The February and June are completely free, and then conference is $65. And that is a Friday night and an all-day Saturday.
Does it include meals?
Well, Friday night we're having an after party, so all the refreshments will be included. Yes, it's going to be really fun. And then Saturday, the meals are not included, but we are going to have food on site. You can either prepay for a box lunch, or we're going to have some really fun food trucks also there. And with that cost, you also get a free hard copy devotional that we've written. It's really pretty and well designed. And there will be also some other fun surprises, too.
Well, without giving too much away,
yes.
What can we look forward to as far as speakers and worship and so forth?
Well, we have Robert Madu, who he's no stranger to our church or the community. He's awesome. We have Holly Wagner. She is out of Oasis Church in California. Some people might know her just from other women's conferences, and she's written a couple books, God Chicks. And then we have Sheila Walsh, who some people might be really familiar with her from Women of Faith. She's awesome, so we're excited for her. And then we also have Jo Saxton. She came with Christine Caine on the Propel Tour last year, and we just fell in love with her. She has a British accent, which is how people kind of remember who she is. But she is just one of the warmest, most welcoming people that I've actually ever met. She just has a presence about her, and she just has just a really awesome stories that she tells, and so we're really excited to have her too.
Why are these kinds of things so important, Jillian?
I feel like just as women, we get so busy and we have so many responsibilities and we wear so many hats on our head. I know for myself, it's hard to just take a break from motherhood and working. And so I think it's just so important to take these times away and just let the Lord speak to you during these times, and let him just minister to you, and to have worship and to hear a message specifically for women. I just think that's so important. And we are just believing, we've been praying for this conference, and we know that this is a divine appointment for women that come, and that God is just going to have a message specifically for them. And, I know sometimes it's a sacrifice of time and of money for these kind of things, but I just really believe that things that are worth anything are worth sacrificing for, and that God will just meet you there. And he'll provide the finances if you're feeling like, you know what, I don't know if I can afford $65. I've seen in my own life God just supernaturally provide. And so I just want to encourage you, if you feel like, oh, that price, that God will meet you there. And I also just believe that when you make that sacrifice of time, that God will honor that in your life too, and that we're just really believing for big things for this weekend.
Let's put out a little appeal to the gentlemen in the audience.
Yes.
Because I will, full disclosure here, can remember my first women's conference as a young mom, went off to it and came home, and okay, I love my husband, and he has really come a long way since that day. But I came home and everything was a wreck. And so I thought, that's the last time I'm going to a women's conference. It's easier to just keep things on an even keel here at home. So come on, guys.
Yes, step up.
Step up and let them go for a night and a day.
Totally. I have a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old, so I totally know how that is. But I honestly feel like when you take that time away and get refreshed, you're even better when you get home.
Exactly. We promise.
Yes.
So come on, guys. You want a better wife?
Yes.
Let her get away for one of these refreshing times. It's almost like a spiritual spa day.
Yes.
Isn't it?
I love that.
Yes. Well, I know these things don't just throw themselves together. So tell us a little behind the scenes, Jillian. How did you come up with the speakers, and how did you put this all together?
Well, our lead pastor's wife, Barb Camnetti, she obviously has a big role in Flourish. I help her carry out her vision, but she just really prayed about these speakers and felt like these were the ones that we were to invite. We also are really familiar with Robert, and he's a favorite at Faith Family. So we were like, we thought it'd be fun to have a guy in the rotation, And so that's kind of how we came to the speakers. And
I think it sounds like you really were thinking about different age groups as well.
Definitely.
So people who are very familiar with Sheila Walsh might be coming to hear her, and then you get introduced to some of the new other speakers.
Yes.
Younger people who come in and say, oh, hey, this Sheila Walsh really knows what she's talking about too. So it's kind of fun.
Well, my husband and I also lead our high school and college ministry at the church. So I feel like that was one of our thoughts too. Robert he does our youth and young adults conference, Love is Red, which people are familiar with around here. So we felt like, and Holly, she's a little bit younger too. So we felt like we were reaching a broad range. And that's the same with our gatherings. We have, high school students, and we have a lot of older ladies too. So I feel like it's just a nice across the board.
Your life has got to be very interesting because, your husband, is he officially on staff? Yes.
He is.
So he's a pastor.
Yes.
You're a pastor's wife.
Yes.
Your father-in-law is on staff.
Yes, he is.
Yes, pastor's daughter-in-law.
Yes.
The whole fam goes there. So you get to see how the sausage is made every single week.
Yes.
And talk about that a little bit.
I feel so blessed for the life that I have. Josh and I started dating in high school, believe it or not. So we have been married for 9 years and together for 14, which is hard to believe.
It's amazing.
So, we've walked this journey from the very beginning when Josh graduated from Bible college, started working in housekeeping at the church, and then he was the middle school director and now the high school and college pastor. So our lives are full and busy, but we wouldn't trade it for the world. We absolutely love it. And then I also get to help lead Flourish, which is really just a dream come true. It was like God just opened that door for me to be able to help. Didn't even see it coming, but it has just been an amazing adventure and so fulfilling. And we just had a testimony come in from our last Flourish gathering where we had a lady who had been inviting her friend for over 10 years to church. and finally had decided to come with her to this Flourish gathering and accepted the Lord. And when you hear stuff like that, it's just so, it just brings tears to your eyes, because it's just like, Jesus, this is what it's all about. And so it's just been amazing.
Yes. Well, with you and your husband pastoring young people, what do you see in young people as opposed to, the 9 years ago when you were they?
Yeah.
So what are they dealing with that is maybe different than what you all were dealing
I
with?
think social media and the internet just puts a whole different spin on issues that they're dealing with nowadays. Just the comparison, just being able to be on your phone 24/7 and see these things, like these pictures of people that are just, it's not even real life.
No.
But to them, it's so real. And just the comparison of lives and just the issues, just seeing so many things before them all the time. But I also see a generation that's really hungry for Jesus. We just got back from summer camp a few weeks ago. And just to see young people go and separate themselves from their everyday life, leave their phones and go to camp, and just to see how hungry they were in worship and responding to the messages, I was like, sure, this generation is being bombarded constantly with negative all the time, but they're still hungry for Jesus, and they're still hungry for a real movement in their life. And so that's just so rewarding, and to be able to be a part of that.
Do they seem to recognize that that's what they're hungry for? Or do we just kind of know, who would fill that gap in your life?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I feel like the students at camp, they realized they were hungry for Jesus.
Yes.
And you could just see it on their faces and what they were telling us. And so it's just been awesome.
Do you have some stories from camp that, without naming names, anything very cool that you got to witness?
Yeah, we had someone specifically in our life that, without going into huge detail, that we've been praying for a long time. And she just signed up for camp. And we were like, okay, God, and there's people in your life that you feel like, well, maybe I won't be the person that reaches them, but we're still going to pray for them. But then we were like, okay, maybe this is what. And so she came to camp. She's made some huge life changes. We thought maybe her cabin might be a little bit of drama because some of the, we weren't sure. But it ended up, it was just like no drama. And God just moved in her life mightily. And she has been back at church every Wednesday since then, bringing friends from school. And so when you see that not only is someone's life changed, but she's bringing people with her, it's amazing.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I'd ask you the same question about women in general. Is there a demographic group that is harder on themselves and on each other than women?
I don't think so.
I'm with you on that. And so how do we begin? Why is that, in your opinion? And how do we begin to address that with these kinds of conferences?
Well, we had one of our gatherings last year. We had a panel of women that sat down, and all from different age groups, different demographics. And we really just kind of unpacked that. And it was just amazing, the feedback that we got from women. My mom was on there, and she kind of shared part of her story, part of her testimony, just of neglect and abuse that she went through. We had a girl that's in her 30s that is in the modeling world, and just shared how, it's not even real. It is not even real. I love Jesus. And she's like, I'm just going to tell you, it's I don't even look like me on that stuff. And so it was just refreshing to hear that. And just really how we just compare our lives to people's highlight reels constantly. Stuff that's not even, of course, we're going to put our best stuff on Instagram or Facebook, or we're going to put 3 filters on so that we don't have the wrinkles. And just really that, you know what, we should be in this together. We should be sharing our stories. We should be helping each other. We should be praying for each other. We should be uplifting each other. We're in this walk together, and we need each other.
You used a term there that is perfect, the highlight reel. That's exactly what you're talking about when someone's putting their best foot forward. But nobody really post when the dishes are filling the sink and the dog did something on the carpet. That doesn't make it to Instagram.
No.
So, yeah, but
I know.
it's reality.
I always joke because somebody will be like, oh, that's a cute outfit. And I'll be like, well, 90% of the time I'm in my flannel pajamas at home with a baby and a toddler. But who wants a picture of yourself in your flannel pajamas?
But that's more reality.
Yes.
We are going to take a very short break here. We'll be back with Jillian after these words. You're listening to Our Community.